Can we get a roll call, please?
Thank you. Committee members Chiesa,
Here.
Hume, Vice Chair Craig Hensley. Here. Chair Zuber.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Okay. Next item is public comment. Do we have any public comment in the room? Any online?
Seeing none online.
Moving right along. Item 3 is the consent calendar. Does any committee member wish to pull any of the items for discussion? Any public comment on any of the items in the room? Any public comment online?
Seeing none online.
I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
All right. Roll call, please.
Thank you. Committee members Chiesa,
Aye.
Vice Chair Craig Hensley. Aye. Chair Zuber.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right, item 4 is the Valley Rail Program work stream update from the Valley Rail.
That was a little ominous, you know.
You're the team? No. Oh,
I'm not the team, but I'm gonna kick us off.
all right, you're on.
No, we are a team. As we have been discussing over the your past several meetings, the delivery of the Valley Rail program is broken up into some distinct work streams. And as staff, we have sort of committed to bringing you updates on a regular basis in this structure that you see here. And so during this presentation, you're going to hear quick updates from each of the work stream champions or owners within the staff team, the Valley Rail team. We are progressing this presentation from last month to this month. So some work streams have more updates than others. I'll get us started on the program management side. So this is really sort of the umbrella work stream that sort of like keeps all the work streams organized and moving forward. We really have been focusing and ensuring that there's alignment on the key tasks associated with the near-term capital delivery projects. So you see sort of an example here to the right of the Midtown Station project and how it's organized within our program management tool. We really have been digging deep across the departments on, hey, are there any small tasks, medium-sized tasks that need to be accomplished to deliver Midtown, right? Making sure that we're all aligned and we're clear on that. No surprises. We've also been spending time on tasks that are building out sort of the next phases of the Valley Rail program. So assigning tasks related to information that needs to be gathered, elements that need to be put together for us to bring to you recommendations for what happens after what direction you have already given to staff. So those deliverables are in progress. We're working towards those even today. And then we've also been enhancing the tools that drive our collaboration and visibility. Like the tool on the right is one. And then we have other tools like meetings and other things associated with these tools that keep this top of mind. As we were talking previously in the commission meeting, adherence to the schedules is key. So and making sure that we're all collaborating together. There's no surprises in the end. It's really been what the program management team has been focused on the last month. With that, I'll hand it over to Dan, who I think is online.
Yes, thanks, David. Great. Good morning. And just to update on the service planning efforts, as we talked about at your last meeting, we've really divided our current efforts into really 4 different categories: the Valley Rail service planning and progression work, the Gold Runner Thruway bus study, coordination with high-speed rail, as well as Gold Runner and ACE service planning studies. If you could go to the next slide, please. For the Valley Rail service planning and progression, we've continued to be doing work on schedules and ridership forecasts, particularly helping with the development of the new Valley Rail progression. Over the course of the last month or so, a lot of our effort has really focused on looking at options for future A service to Stanislaus County. In addition, we did complete the forecast needed and the benefit analysis for the Christie application, which was submitted in June, and that included VMT analysis and greenhouse gas reductions. Go to the next slide. We've made a lot of progress on the Gold Runner Thruway bus study. Just to remind you that's focused on short-term improvements for the Gold Runner Thruway bus routes and the overall network. We will have a presentation coming up next week, July 16th, to the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority. That presentation will focus on cost effectiveness of the various routes, as well as initial agency and public comment received, and the outreach that we did throughout June to kind of leading up to this. In addition, I think it's important to highlight that we do have a web page that's specifically on our JPA website that's focused on the Thruway Bus study, and that's our vehicle for getting input to the various elements of the study. Currently, we have a chapter 1 in draft form that's available, as well as information on the various routes. By the time of the board meeting occurs next week, we'll also have chapter 2 available to the public as well. We are looking to have the completed draft study report ready for the public by August 19th. That will include our recommendations for each of the routes. And then after additional public outreach following that, uploading that to our website, we will then be looking for SJJPA board approval at their September 25th board meeting. Once we have that approval, then we'll spend another couple of months developing implementation strategies for the various routes, and that work will be completed this fall. Next slide. For the coordination with high-speed rail, especially over the course of the last month or so, it's been very much focused on the Madera Station relocation project and specifically on getting the construction agreement completed and the fire marshal permit completed, working with high-speed rail. And we need this agreement because most of the land the station will be built upon is owned by the High-Speed Rail Authority. And before we can go out with a construction project, RFP to bring on the team to do the construction, we need to have that agreement signed. We think we're very, very close, but it has not been signed yet. Once we get that complete, then we can get back to working with high-speed rail on the second phase of the Madera Station, which is the improvements needed to implement it to become a high-speed rail station for the early operating segment. And that is really important work since high-speed rail has identified Madera as the station where Gold Runner and high-speed rail will meet for 2033 operations. Next slide, please. And then this is the last area, the Gold Runner and ACE service planning studies. These studies will be done concurrently and simultaneously to make sure that we're coordinated well with both of our services. We already have the team on board for the Gold Runner side of the work, but we are looking to get the approval for the ACE on-call planning contract at the next Rail Commission meeting on August 7th. And then we will begin both studies later this fall. And that work is looking to be completed by June 2027. And with that, I'll turn it over to Christine with the next slide.
Good morning. So we are still tracking on our Valley Rail Phase 1 projects. Midtown, I'm going to be giving a little deeper dive into where we are with Midtown later in the agenda today. But we are still working on the last portions of the construction specifications and getting ready to put this project out to bid. With Del Paso siding, the 100% design revisions, and still looking for the locations for that laydown, along with the C&M agreement with UP. And then with Elk Grove, still working on the track and the station design and the construction, the most important, the construction sequencing with the Phillips siding. And then with Newark Albright, still moving through the design along with the Natoma station, and the Phillips siding is complete. We're looking for the coordination with Phillips and Elk Grove. Then Lake to Escalon is on track to complete this month. And then I'll be also giving a little deeper dive on Oakley Station later in the agenda today. And then Dan gave the update on where we are with the Madera Station. So we're looking forward to begin that state fire marshal review soon on the station. With that, I'll hand over to Mo for that.
Good morning. So for my work stream funding strategy development, there are three categories. So the first and most urgent one is for us to fully fund the phase one initial phase Valleyville project. And after that, both simultaneously, we have to continue to pursue more grants to fully fund the future Valleyville projects. And then at the same time, we are also looking for multiple operation funding. So for the fully fund the Valleyville phase one projects category, I have a few updates. So we've submitted program allocation plan to Caltrans and CalSTA already, which is going to August CTC meeting. This is a request for us to move about $200 million from the later Valleyville projects to the initial Valleyville project so that we can fully fund the phase one project. Because our ask is so large scale, before CTC can provide approval to us, we have to receive a concurrence from CalSTA. So right before the July 4th holiday, we were able to meet with the CalSTA to address all of the questions and concerns that they have for this request. So we are hoping to get their concurrence in the next week or so. For securing funding for Newark Outbreak project, we submitted the TURSIP Cycle 8 application in May. And then luckily we were given opportunity to sort of improve our application by looking at some data that was provided in one of the attachments. And so we are working on refining the benefits that we can claim on the attachment on the GHG reductions, BMG reduction, useful life standards and such to improve our application. And we are targeting to resubmit the strengthened, improved application package to CalSTA next week. For pursuit for more grant funding in February, we submitted build application for Modesto Station in track project, and yesterday we were notified that we weren't selected for the award, but we will continue to try next year as well. In June, we submitted the pre-seed application for Lodi Station track work and Cabral track extension project. The award announcement for this is anticipated sometimes in the winter of this year. And we started working with our grant writing consultants to begin Valleyville South, FDA's capital investment grant concept evaluation and also ridership modeling. And we are still on track to submit the request package in the summer of 2027. For the pursuit of operation funding, the only updates I have is that we are meeting with Alameda CPC and MTC this month so that we can continue to discuss our partnership as well as the needs for the operation funding. With that, I will hand it back to David.
On the host railroad strategy side, we did have an in-person meeting with UP this last month to discuss some of the documentation associated with Valleyville Phase 1, making sure that we're aligned, that sort of areas where we need to collaborate with them, that we're collaborating. We had a sort of related to the projects that Christine went through. There are like small things that just need to be discussed between the two parties, and so those discussions are progressing. We are very much like on the same page with them and moving those items forward. One of the things that we're working on out of that meeting was, as you are aware, the Valleyville program over its lifespan has initiated many projects associated with the program outside of Valleyville Phase 1 or Phase 2. So there are quite a few projects that are on the books, like with UP. And one of the things that they've requested from the Rail Commission is clear communication to them, like which projects are they actively working on now with us, which projects are they not actively working on now with us, which just seems like a fair request. And so we are actually working together internally as the Valley Rail team across all the departments to bring you an item that would clarify what projects are in active status and which ones are not only for us to communicate with UP, but also to some of our other vendors related to work anticipated in the upcoming few fiscal years. And then we've been working really closely with BNSF on the Oakley IFB release. Oakley is one of these sort of like unique projects within the Valley Rail program. It's funded by the 2018 TIRSET, but we're not actually releasing the IFB. It's wholly within the within BNSF's right of way. The city actually built the parking facility as a part of the project, and so their releases are working really closely with them, and they're getting really close on releasing that IFB and moving it towards construction. So that's very positive. On the operational plan side, we are still really working on the operational plan document for the 5th round trip that includes these items here that you see, an operational staffing plan for an additional train, like how we'll handle ticketing in the Sacramento area, amenities that might change between now and then, anticipated 2031, then any connecting services that would be associated with that, including increased Great America Shuttle services, and how all of that sort of like coalesces into a plan that not only directs our staff on, when to hire, like when to set up certain MOUs and agreements, but also plans budgetarily for what the impact will be to the budget when we get to that first train operating in the corridor. And then we have been making progress towards the MOUs with the station jurisdictions. So this in the north, this would be the Sacramento County for Natomas, the city of Sacramento for Midtown, as well as the city of Elk Grove for the Elk Grove station. These are agreements related primarily to operational issues. So like who's going to handle security or trash removal, or how, like maybe they have like services that are similar in the area where we can sort of like piggyback on some of their agreements, ways to like sort of gain efficiencies when these facilities go into operation. So that process is moving forward. And then to sort of wrap this up, I'll hand it over to FL for the communications plan update. David.
And so last time we met, we talked holistically about all the work that's being done for the communication plan for Valley Rail. Since then, we've dove a little bit deeper on some targeted kind of tasks to get done and then finished up for the initial part of the communication plan. So you've noticed that one of the big things was that we started with a new map design for Valley Rail, kind of moved away from the stick map because I was kind of pointed out that it doesn't, show the scale of where our services and work that we're doing. So we kind of adopted this model, and with that comes a lot of different iterations of this map. So that's kind of actively being worked on. But this is going to be kind of the new map going forward, and as we'll work on adjusting this map as needed for specific projects. We are really close to finishing up a general what we call a Valley Rail PowerPoint template. So this will be designed for everybody within the agency, any of our partners, our board members if needed, to have a core template to use to discuss Valley Rail. It will include all the content that will have all the project details, and it's designed so to be adjusted based on what the need is. So maybe there's a meeting where we don't need to talk about all of the work that's being done, as maybe particularly Midtown stations. So we're able to adjust that PowerPoint, and so we have that close to finish. And on the same level where we got a general Valley Rail one pager. And so what that is, we want to just minor content updates, make sure the new map is implemented into that one pager. Designed once again for ease of use. If we need to have a subject of the meeting is talking about one specific item, we're allowed to maybe mess around with the talking points and make sure that the point gets across. And then in terms of individual project pages, both for the website and one pager, Midtown is going to be our next focus, since that's project is coming up pretty quickly with Oakley right behind it. I'm happy to say that we are pretty much done with the Midtown communication plan and the outreach plan. So it's kind of in the review process, but that plan will set forth timeline and goals and who we need to be talking to let people know about the Midtown Station and the timeline for that. And then also we are actively working on the Oakley communication plan for a new station. Part that's a little bit more tricky. We have, our partners with BNSF, so we have to make sure all the parties are integrated in some sense. We're on the same page when it comes to communication, but also the Antioch station being decommissioned as well. So we want to be thoughtful on how we're doing outreach. Of course, we're excited about the opportunity for Oakley, but we also have to be thoughtful about the residents and the partners in Antioch. So the Antioch decommissioning is part of that, and that's ongoing. So I think we're on track. As we move through, we should have updates for all the plans in future meetings. So.
I'll take any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
Got two. One piece of legal 1132.
Bring it on.
The high speed rail, the agreement with high speed rail. Is there anything you anticipate in the agreement that relative to high speed rail funding or scheduling or anything like that would create any obstacles for Valley Rail?
No, I think what we've done over the course of negotiating the agreement, and Janice has been a key partner in that, has been to really focus it on what is essential for building our part of the project and not really sort of including other items that might delay our own.
Okay, I just want to be sure of that, all right. And then the other one on the MOU with Sac County, I heard about, services being provided and so forth, but does the agreement include any financial commitments from Sac County or in-kind services specifically from Sac County that would not then be a hit on our budget? I'm trying to make sure that the partnership is recognizing the fact that we can't do it all, pay for it all, or provide for all the services.
So that is part of the strategy and process of going through the MOU process. So essentially, where we haven't started that process with them, but the way the process is set up is to have like a menu of options that then are negotiated across the table between us and the other jurisdiction, and where we can find levels of efficiency, where we can find commitments on funding certain elements or assisting in certain areas. Those would be sort of efficiencies that we look to gain through that process. I think as we have those sort of one-on-one discussions with the different jurisdictions, things come up like, oh, well, we already like have a security service in the area doing this other thing. Like what if we just like partner together to like gain efficiency? So we're looking for things of that nature, as well as for them to help us identify potential future funding operation sources.
And then the last comment is just that with the Chrissy grant in for the Lodi station, if you need letters of support from the city or any of our business community, Momo, send me the language.
Okay.
We will send it in. I will contact our delegation and emphasize how important this is. Even if we are at the end of this stream, we need to start planning. So thank you for submitting that, and anything you can do, let me know. Thanks.
Dino, you have any questions?
Shaking his head no.
Okay. I
No
have none.
questions.
All right, thank you. Next item, Oakley Station overview. You're up.
Good morning. So during the previous item where we did the Valley Rail work stream update, we really focused on delivery, design progress, schedule of the individual projects that are in phase one. So today, with this item and the next, I'd like to take a deeper dive into the Oakley Station project and also into the Midtown Station project to give us an understanding of what's included in the project and a bit of an overview of the elements of work that we'll start seeing in the latter part of this year and into next year as we start construction. So let's start with the Oakley Station project. Next slide. Oops. Yeah, this is why I'm not supposed to
Here, assisting on.
Oh, yeah, they don't let me test about it all night. All right, so the Oakley Station project, as David was saying earlier, this is a BNSF project. And we have an oversight and a funding commitment or portion of this construction. BN will take the lead for the bid, the award, and also the construction of the new station platform. The project is located on the Stockton subdivision, which runs all the way actually from Richmond to Fresno. But it's the subdivision that the Gold Runner currently operates on. And so it's familiar territory for us. And let's go ahead and move to that next slide. So this is the Oakley Station will be in Contra Costa County near the intersection of Main and Vintage Parkway, which is actually just a couple blocks from the Oakley Civic Center. Yes, I think it's down this. So today, this is what the area looks like. You'll see the existing parking lot. There is a road, fairly new actually, and right next to the existing sidewalk. There's actually a drop-off area on the very far side of the sidewalk. It's the east side. And the between the railroad tracks and the sidewalk is somewhat of a drainage area, so it's lower than the sidewalk. Sidewalk is actually being held up by a retaining wall and a fence. You can kind of see it in the picture there. So if we can now start the slide. So to help visualize, we did this before and after. And as you can see, this is what the station will look like on this exact location. The station is going to utilize all the existing elements, the parking, the road, the sidewalk, the retaining wall. But first we'll put in some drainage so that the water that's kind of currently in that ditch will have a way to flow out. We'll add this 720-foot long platform. This is going to accommodate up to 7 cars for us. And it's 13 feet wide, which allows us to put shelters, lights, ADA ramps, also, and still have enough room for passengers to circulate around the platform, both, and then that fence that you see, remember how we said that the railroad tracks are a little higher, so the ramp and the fence helps to get to the platform at that higher level, but also keeps the passengers from keeps them staying on the platform since it's a bit higher up. You'll also see that we have landscaping that we are planning for, along with some irrigation, some electrical, and of course we'll put in the passenger information display system, the PIDs. So if you can go slide back again. So the before, and then the after. Next slide. So just the major milestones for the project. We are looking for the designs already been complete. As we've spoken before, the IFB release is this month, and then starting construction in October of this month. Substantial completion, it's about 2 years away, and then we'll be able to do the opening for the Oakley Station. Okay. All right. Any questions on Oakley? Next slide. So this is an information only item, so there's no fiscal impact and no action required. Move to the next slide and the next slide. So the Midtown Station. That's not. Midtown Station is actually the Rail Commission's project, so we are the lead for the design, the bid, the award, and the construction. This project is on the UP Sacramento subdivision, which goes from Marysville down to Stockton, where we are now. And the project itself is located in Sacramento, near the corner of 19th and Q. And it's actually really close to the ice block. It's a mixed use development area with businesses, restaurants, housing. It's a up and coming area. And it's also really close to the 16th Street light rail station. So there's good connection and a lot of people actually going to that area now. So it's a really good site. You can go to the next slide. So these are some of the photos of what the station looks like, station area looks like currently. This view is of 19th Street. The traffic is a one-way street. Traffic is coming toward us. We're going to put here some enhanced pedestrian crossing. You'll see that there's actually one pedestrian crossing on just north of the light rail structure. This is the light rail structure that comes into 16th Street. You'll also see there's an at-grade light rail track that crosses 19th Street. And there's a bit of pedestrian walkway that has to go through there. It crosses it twice. There's the traffic. And so the enhanced crossing, if you can go ahead and slide that over. We'll add another crossing on the other side of the bridge, along with putting some signalized pedestrian lights. So that now pedestrians will have a warning of when the train is coming. This light rail is actually on a curve in this location. So it does pose a little bit more of work for pedestrians and the cars. There's a signal where there's arms for the cars, but for the pedestrians, it's a little bit tougher sometimes to see when the light rail is coming. So this enhanced pedestrian crossing is really going to help this area. And induce, or what we would like is that it will plan to encourage people to walk to our station and to the entrance to our plaza. You can see there's a mural on the back. This is the 19th Street entrance to the station area. So if we go back to the before, you can see right now it's somewhat of an unutilized area. And then slide up becomes the opening to our plaza and station area.
See, can I ask a question? You have a bike lane in the previous one. Is there no longer a bike lane?
There actually is a bike lane,
Okay.
and you can kind of see that person kind of standing in it.
All right.
We'd rather the person be on the sidewalk and the bike lane, but you can see it kind of takes us a little bit of a curve to help line or true up the bike lane to the railroad crossing. Because you don't want to get the bike wheels stuck when the angle's too small. Okay, next one. This is Q and 19th Street. So this is the north end of the platform station. Our platform is going to be 570 feet long. And it's going to be right in that space between the tracks and the building on UP property. The platform is going to be about 15 feet wide. So again, it gives us room for passenger circulation, for our shelters, for lighting, the PIDs, and all the things that we need for our passengers to be able to get on the train, be able to use our service, and for the most part know where they're going. So let's go ahead and slide it over. So you'll see now 19th Street becomes the north entrance to our station. Canopy is there to help shelter in the summer sun, or in some cases, the winter rains. And you can see the train pulling in. Next one. This is the southern portion of the station. Again, another kind of underutilized area. It's somewhat of an empty lot at the moment. This is between R and S Street along that, along the tracks. So we are going to be doing a bit of a track shift and some new track here. All in the UP space, and we'll do some drainage improvements here also. You can see that UP's area is a little bit flat. We want to make sure that the water that comes off the railroad tracks from our station also has a way of getting out rather than flooding in the area. So we slide it over. Same buildings, somewhat of where we're going to, what it's going to start to look like. And then the last one. 19th Street is that entrance to the plaza area, station area, and that's going to be somewhat in the middle of the length of the platform. This is the plaza area that's underneath the light rail structure. So it is, it gives us some natural shade because of the structure. But you can see there's pretty underutilized area again. And so if we slide it over, we'll go ahead and put in the concrete plaza area, the planting, the landscaping and irrigation, and then also there is a planned canopy farther along in the plaza area to help provide some additional passenger comfort and shade. So we really are starting to develop this area with this project, and in conjunction with the other development that is going on around us around the ice blocks, a lot of new residential coming up or establishing residential around in this midtown area. So if we can go to the next slide. So part of our Valley Rail work streams is a collaboration, a real good team collaboration with all of the work streams to be able to provide some real-time information on our projects. Midtown being the first one of the Valley Rail that's going to move out. We've put together, or Adele, Marcus, and the communications team have put together this page for us. And really, it's a kind of a one-stop shop of everything you need to know about, for this one, Midtown. So it has that banner introduction. What I like about this, it has this integrated map. You can click on this map. This is a preview, so not everything is clickable. But the idea that you can click on the map and know exactly where the project is. And this will have this on all of the projects. It'll give you a status along with an overview of the project. Keep slowly. And some pictures right now that are renderings of what the project will look like. What I'm hoping to do is be able to provide some construction photos as we start digging in and shovels in the ground. Key components of the project. So if you ever have to go back and go, what are we doing on that station again? Here are some of the key elements here. Along with the plaza, the track. There's a bit of underground work and some offsite improvements too. And I think to help us guide through some of the delivery, we've put in here the construction phases so that we can be able to track where we are in this phase as we get from kind of the pre-construction where we're at right now, mobilization, and then active construction and closeout. Given a bit of a timeline here of how long we expect to be in these phases or sub-phases, and then we'll go ahead and update as we move into construction. But the part that I think is really important about this webpage is that we have this portion here about why this project is important. Important to Valley Rail, important to the Rail Commission, important to our service, and probably most important to the community and our passengers. So these are little snippets of the benefits of this project and what this project will bring to all of us. And then, of course, we have to put in the, if you're interested, a contractor interested in working with us, a firm interested in working with us, this is the location or one of many locations where they can click and navigate to getting onto our bidding area or finding more about contracts that will be going out. And then the most important part is our frequently asked questions, and we'll keep adding to these. But questions like, where will the Midtown station be located? You can click and unclick. And so, which trains will serve the station? Which I think is a great question. You can get a really quick answer. It's Ace and Boulder. And so we'll keep adding to it. Again, this is a preview. So Adele and Marcus, my team, pretty much all of Valley Rail Spring teams, we're gonna be working on this and then launching it, I think soon.
Yeah.
But definitely before construction, and then we will start adding additional pages for all of the other projects in the Valley work stream. Alright, so with that, any questions?
Just one,
Sure.
and it's probably for your FAQ. I would want to know what the nearest light rail stop is to Valley Rails or Winter or Ace, because they're crossing. Yes, and having been a commuter using light rail in Sacramento way back when, I'd be kind of curious to know where the proximity of the stop is.
Sure, so that is a really good question, so Adele. But for the Midtown station, the nearest one, you saw the light rail tracks passing on the ground, and then the other one's coming down. They actually meet about another block or two over it. And the station is at 16th Street.
Okay.
That entrance to our plaza is on 19th, so 3 blocks away.
Okay.
It's a really short, easy walk.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be really important for that multimodal component too, is to reference the fact that light rail is proximate to this, because I think
Yes.
that's a great selling.
And the nice thing about that light rail station too is that it services both the gold line and the blue line. So someone could go to Midtown Station, walk to the light rail, and get on either of the services to go north, south, east, west on light rail. So
Is there any bus connection between?
there are these connections. Yes, there's buses running on Q Street and R Street. And there's also some more frequent buses that run off of J Street, which you can get through regular light rail. Thank you. You're welcome. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Vito, you have any questions?
No, I just want to keep saying how slick it is, the before and after pictures.
Thank you very much. Yes, there are Marcus there too. Thank you.
I want to credit for that one, so.
So this is an information item, so there's no fiscal impact and no action required from the committee.
All right,
All
thank
right,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. We're on. Any committee members have any comments?
Yes, sir.
Vito?
No, sir.
Then we're to the best part of the agenda.
Beat the record.
And Lisa gets to leave on time. She's gonna be so happy. So at this point, we will adjourn this meeting, and our next meeting will be on August 7th at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chair. See you guys.
Thank you.